Now if we have the function f of x equals 1/2 x squared plus 5, and we're given x values 2 and 3, and I'm going to change that. I want the x values to be 2 and 6, because I don't want them to be just one unit apart. We want to sketch a fundamental triangle corresponding to this function for these two x values. Well, to get to a fundamental triangle, we have to have 2 points in the plane, so we get 2 points on the graph. Okay, well, f of 2 is 1/2 times 2 squared plus 5, which is 7. And you can easily calculate that. F of 6 is 1/2 of 6 squared plus 5. Then 6 squared is 36, half of that is 18, add 5, you get 23. This gives us 2 points on the graph. Okay, we have the point I want to make this point lower. We have the point 2, f of 2, which equals 2, 7. That'll be this point. Then we have the point 6, f of 6. Well, that's 6, 23. So we go over here to x equals 6. Well, x equals 6 isn't going to be here. That's going to be a vertex of our triangle. But, and then we've got to go up to 23. So this is going to be quite a bit higher. So here's 6, 23. So these are 2 points on the graph of y equals f of x, and our fundamental triangle is going to look something like this. Okay, well, we've constructed this much of the triangle. Now let's label it. Okay, from x equals 2 to x equals 6, well, the formula up here says it's c minus a. Well, this would be your c, this could be your a, so c minus a would be 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. Now, we know if we move from 2 to 6, we've got to move 4 units, right? We don't even have to do that subtraction, although we probably implicitly do it in our head. If we move in this direction, this is the run, 4. Now, from 7 up to 23, that's how far we've got to go to get from this high to this high. Well, that's going to be 23 minus 7, or 16, and that's going to be our rise. So that our hypotenuse, we don't have to go doing a lot of calculation here. We've already done the d minus b and the c minus a, and we can just kind of directly write down the hypotenuse has a length that's a square root of 16 squared plus 4 squared. Well, that's the square root of 80, and that is, what, 16 times the square root of 5. It's 4 times the square root of 5. 80 is 16 times 5. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 5 is just square root of 5. Okay? The slope is rise over run. That's going to be 16 over 4. And the midpoint is going to be, well, we average the two. 2 plus 6 over 2, 7 plus 23 over 2. That comes out to 415. Now it's clear that that 2 plus 6 divided by 2 is 4, and that 4 is halfway between 2 and 6. That should be completely obvious. It's not as obvious that 15 is halfway between 7 and 24, but 15 minus 7 is 8, and 23 minus 15 is 8, and that shows that it is halfway. So we could label the midpoint. Haven't left a lot of room, but I'm going to draw a midpoint here. .415. I'll remind you that the midpoint gives you two congruent triangles here, and you can verify what the rise and run of each of these triangles is to show that they are congruent and that they have the same hypotenuse. Because now we have 2 points here, and we could, take this as a fundamental triangle and then take this as a fundamental triangle and do the same analysis we did. We're going to find that this hypotenuse is half of this hypotenuse. Half of 4 square root of 5 is 2 square root of 5. That's what we would get from this point, and this point. And we'd get the same thing using this point, and this point. In other words, okay.